Ladies and gentlemen, keeping it very brief, but of course, we have to continue with our Pratha at Exito here. As and when we take your name, educate us on that one top brass tip, keeping it as crisp as possible, which ensures your customers stay with you no matter what. So people may come and go, but your patrons will not. Okay, that's a little extreme, but I think you get the gist. We have with us Mr. Ranganathan Iyer, the Group CIO, JBM Group. Mr. Iyer, we would request to start from you.
Yeah, namaste to everyone.
Sir, the question is, what would be your one top brass tip to ensure customers always stay together till the very end? And I believe, sir, your background is causing a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it hide. Kindly give a minute.
Sir, so how about you get that sorted and we will come back once. Oh, great. Mr. Iyer, yes.
Yes, see, before we answer that question, we have to understand what customer is really expecting from you. That's rather very important. Before we being a manufacturing company on auto parts component, it is very difficult for ensuring the deliveries up always. I'm going to give you 3 touch points to close it quicker. We are a JIT players, just-in-time delivery. So we have to ensure delivery every time, right? With the right quality. And we have to ensure how we are increasing the efficiency of the existing workforce, which is supporting the end customer, like our employees and our supplier. Thank you.
Mr. Iyer, fantastic. I loved how you elaborated, but just this is a small icebreaker. So one extremely crisp line tip from your end would do wonders. But thank you so very much, Mr. Iyer. Moving on very quickly to Mr. Jayan Jain, the Vice President, Marketing and Customer Services, Head Loyalty and Shopper Insights, Reliance Retail Limited. And ladies and gentlemen, the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Mr. Jayan Jain are exclusively from his point of view and not a representative of his organization. And on that note, Mr. Jain, that one crisp top brass tip.
Well, the best thing that anybody who's involved with customer experience should remember is ensure that you have an emotional connect with your consumers. If you're able to build that emotional connect, everything else will fall into place.
Fantastic answer, Mr. Jain. And of course, the man with the toughest task, the moderator. It is none other than Mr. Deepak Bakshi, the Managing Director, Accenture India. Mr. Bakshi, what would your pick be?
I would say, Nikita, customer experience is absolutely critical to a business success and is actually a differentiator for an organization. So it's absolutely a focus area for any business to look at.
A fantastic answer, gentlemen. Stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nikita. And hello, Mr. Ranganathan. Hello, Mr. Jayant. And glad to be connected on this very interesting topic of customer experience that we are kind of getting into a fireside chat with both of you. It's a pleasure moderating this conversion with both of you on this panel. As we just kind of started on, I think customer experience, I believe, is critical to a business success, of course. And a positive customer experience promotes loyalty. I believe it helps you retain the customers and encourages the brand advocacy, of course, right? Now, I see in today's world, customers are getting very well connected. Digital, of course, has bridged all the barriers, so to say, and they have far more access to options. They are experiencing very differentiated products and services. All of us as customers have seen that, experienced that. And this has, of course, led to the CX bar being raised, right? Now, what was really an acceptable level of service until very recently, I think has become to an extent below par now. On top of that, many niche brands, many digital-only brands have sprung up, and if nothing else, have further spoiled the customer for the experience. Now, this is happening across industry. I believe there is no industry which is untouched by the focus on customer experience. But honestly, I think there are a number of factors which actually impact customer experience. It's one single word as we're talking about it, and that's where I think that the topic itself is very intriguing, very interesting. It is a number of factors that impact it, and hence this is a reasonably complex yet a very, very critical business puzzle to solve for, and that's what essentially makes it very interesting. So on that note, if I were to kind of open the conversation and Mr. Ranganathan, taking your views on how would you define customer experience? Yours industry is one where it's more to the customers and not really to the end consumers that the interactions are, and hence the definition of customer experience per se is very unique. So how would you like to define customer experience, and what does it mean for your business?
Before we, thanks for the opportunity. Before we respond to the customer experience, let us try to understand what the customer really wanted. We are in a JIT kind of business. We have to deliver goods just on time. There is no other way. This also means we cannot build the inventory because we do not have space within our factory. This directly gives instruction for our internal manufacturing team to do the planning right, not only with the machine availability, also with the raw material or the parts availability. Why this layer is very important. The customer experience directly relates to delivering the goods on time, every time, without defaulting on quality, because our goods which are getting supplied to our OEMs are directly going onto their line. So any mismatch, this is very critical to sustain the business. How to increase the customer experience? We have different options of participating at the time of NPD by way of co-creating, or try to help the customer in such a way that we can offload their workload into your business. So these are all the critical factors which is going to help increase in the customer experience, and then naturally share of business also will have a positive impact. Thank you.
Absolutely. And in your industry, again, sir, continuing with that thought, you rightly said it's just in time, and that's how you need to look at. But I would ask, last couple of years, what kind of trends you're seeing in the customer experience? Are the customers expecting a level of experience or a specific type of service from this industry?
Because the market conditions are very volatile. So how we are going to scale up, ramp up and ramp down? This is that I was trying to explain in the two subsequent discussions. This is rather more crucial and critical. If you normally see, our industry has a 12 months pattern of working. In the last 2 years, the pattern has been broken because of various reasons. So our whole of supply chain, depending on the market demand, within a few days we have to ramp up, or whatever we have done in the plan we have done for the next few weeks may scale down drastically with very less time for us to. So the crucial differentiator in the last 24 months is how we are adapting, how agile we are, increasing the production quantity and reducing without affecting our bottom line, if possible.
Understood. Very clear. Mr. Jayant, how would you describe customer experience? Very different industry than what Mr. Ranganathan talked about. You're like directly engaged with end consumers, and I'm sure the expectations from the consumers are very different, and hence how you would define experience.
Okay. Before I talk specifically about customer experience, let me just give you a historical perspective. This customer experience and CX or whatever has become a buzzword very recently, and everybody is talking about it. And yeah. So where does this come from? It's not a sudden development. For over the past 30 odd years that I have been working, I've been involved with stages of growth which have led to the current state. Okay? So we used to talk about customer satisfaction measurement and maintenance, and then we moved on to that thing went to CRM, and that thing grew further into loyalty management. And now this is the next step, where organizations are talking about customer experience. So you have to ensure that, and as you rightly said, customer experience is a critical thing today for businesses to ensure their survival, growth, and continuity. So what really is customer experience? What are we trying to strive towards? So one is that you ensure that, as a lot of the speakers in this seminar and others have said, is you ensure that your customers have a very specific kind of trouble-free experience. Okay? So you set up systems, you manage data, you provide information so that your customers it's transactional. So the quality of transactions that they have, the accuracy of transactions that they have, the timeliness of transactions that they have are all in perfect space. And nothing goes out of kilter. Now this is a process. So you ensure that all your transactions are such that your customer doesn't find anything wrong or amiss. Now, this is almost a hygiene condition for every business. You can't go wrong. If you go wrong, if you provide a poor experience, then you will lose that customer. But providing good process-based and accurate transactions, timely transactions, does not necessarily build relationships. It's a hygiene. So what is good customer experience? The next step for customer experience that we must remember is a human link, an emotional link. Now, what is it that will provide a memorable experience for your customer, for them to be, happy with you, satisfied with you, and think of you as someone more than just a transactional ally? It's not just a one-time transaction. As a business, I want that customer to keep coming back to me. There are also times that I will make a mistake as a business. It's impossible to be 100% perfect all the time. Now, you want the relationship with your customer to be such that she or he overlooks that one mistake that you make once in a while and say, okay, I trust these guys, I like these guys, this is where I'm happy. So he forgives you 1 or 2 sins. How do you make that kind of a connection with your customer? Now, that's where the real struggle is for us. Ensuring that you've got the right software in place, the right technology in place, you're able to manage your data well. These are all process-based things. Technology can help us do that. But the human link transcends all of this and goes one step beyond. Now, that's where we have all got to work about making that experience memorable. Only a memorable experience ensures that good customer experience translates into a good long-term relationship.
Absolutely. Very well said. And in fact, I want to just continue on the retail industry, which was until very recently pretty much offline with the customers walking into the store. Managing customer experience, if I were to use, were relatively easier in those days. And today, with a lot of e-retailers and digital commerce coming up, the expectations, of course, are changing of the customers. But more importantly, I'm sure it's causing or it's posing several challenges for you as a retail business. And how would you actually address those customers' expectations? So is that true, Mr. Jayant? And is that something, and how are you actually addressing that concern?
So very right about what you just said. When when a customer goes to a shop, he or she has reached a particular stage in their purchase journey, okay, that they've decided that I will step out of my house and go to this shop. Traditionally, they didn't come with a lot of information. So the shop was also the place where you gave them a lot of information. They explored things. So shopping was not all about just a transaction. There is a huge amount of experience built into that whole experience. I mean, experience in terms of exploring, discovery, finding out something. So, I mean, if you are going to buy a packet of tea, that's a different matter. I mean, you know which tea I wanted to buy. You went to the grocer and you bought a packet of tea or a tin of oil and came back. But a lot of other things, you didn't really go out to do that. You went out and see, main kya le sakta hu? What do I want? So you also had to educate yourself on what you wanted. Maybe you want a phone, let's say. But if you didn't have the internet today, what would you do? You'd go to a couple of stores, digital stores, and you'll find out what's available, what are the features. Now, in that, you interacted with people. You got information, you got advice, you got recommendations. So it helped you decide what you wanted. And then once you discovered what you wanted, you actually acquired it and you carried it back with you. So there is this huge amount of pleasure associated to shopping. I mean, a lot of people do window shopping. There's pleasure to it. Now, all this experience that we used to have with a physical store, today now is to transcend from the physical reality to a virtual reality. We are now breaking that shopping journey into multiple steps, much more than what was there. Thanks to data and easy availability of information, customers acquire a lot of information beforehand. They also have an understanding on features, prices, comparative understanding of which product is doing well, which brand is what they are looking at. So a lot of that journey that they used to do at the store today happens earlier. Their influences have changed. So once they've reached a point where they actually want to shop or buy something, they have a lot of understanding which earlier the store used to provide. So that initial trust that the store could build by giving them the right information, help them discover what they wanted, is now happening single-handedly the customer is doing it on his own or on her own on the net. So I've lost that opportunity to build affinity with them, to build trust with them. This is why a lot of organizations are focusing too much on transactional business. Ensure that the transaction happens rightly. It's necessary. So that they are able to discover what they wanted on your site, because they are not going to spend as much time as they spend in a store. Store, once you walk in, you got them, and if you are pleasant enough and the people interacting with them are good, and you offer them a bottle of water or a cup of tea, you got them for 10-15 minutes. On the website, you don't know how long they'll spend. They can bounce off in a minute, 30 seconds. So you have to ensure that you capture their imagination or their interest within that time, and ensure that they see more pages, or they see more parts of your site, or see more parts of your virtual store. So that's where the whole problem is now translated, and which is why a lot of organizations tend to make it transactional. Ensure that there is ease of finding what they want. So if you've got a lot of data about what this customer has done in the past, you can help them come up to what they wanted much more easily. Okay, that's where a lot of big data techniques will help. Right? Artificial intelligence comes in terms of choice selection or choice making, and all that kind of routing kind of stuff. So that helps. Then comes the question of paying. Once you've selected something, you want to pay. So make it easy. Mode of payment should be such that it is easy for them. Then there is the physical aspect that comes in. The actual product must reach your customer. So there's a huge amount of logistics involved. You have to get your logistics right. You tell them it's going to come in a day and you send it 3 days later, there's a huge amount of dissatisfaction. You tell them, a particular specific, item is coming, and you give them something else, a different SKU reaches them. That's dissatisfaction. Then there's a question of something coming back, it's being returned, money being refunded. So all these processes, most organizations, at least in retail, are put into place. But where is the opportunity to build emotional connect in all of this? Right? Now, that part is still missing for us. And that is the part that we are going to work upon in terms of building much further. Get your quality right, accuracy right, reliability in space. Your timeliness and everything has to be there, so that you don't disappoint or create any situation where the customer is unhappy. But this is hygiene. I can do it, somebody else can do it, a third person can do it. Why should the customer keep coming back to me? How do I make it memorable for him or her? Now, which is where I think things like experimenting with things like virtual reality, augmented reality. You want to see how a dress that you're possibly going to buy look upon you? Okay, now there's technology to help me do that. Take a photograph and let them try it out. So many different ways. Voice-based transactions, make it easier for that person. Tell them things while they are looking at something. So all of these things are still a nascent stage. Technology providers are working on it, users are working on it. We'll come up with an experience which probably won't reach exactly the kind of experience that a very friendly sales associate can give you in a shop today. But you're going to come up very close to that and build reliability on top of it. So that's where I think customer experience will go in the future. That's where people are investing towards. So there's a huge amount of technology, but let's not forget that we still need to work in trying to build that emotional link and an emotional connect.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you, Jayant. Great set of capabilities also that you highlighted, and the strategies that organizations should look at. There are technology, there's data, AI you talked about logistics, and then of course at the end the silver bullet in a way, so to say, is the emotional connect with the consumer, and that's something still that needs to be worked out. Just switching gears to Mr. Ranganathan and understanding that's the B2B side of the business, not so much directly to consumers but to customers, and you highlighted how different the expectations are. If you can also, Mr. Ranganathan, share some of the digital ways in which you have been able to offer enhanced experiences, how you've leveraged digital analytics technology, and maybe one or two success stories from your side of the industry.
Let us try to understand again the customer expectation. We spoke about a rapid increase in volumes and decrease in volumes. The interesting factor is over and above, they wanted to reduce the cost of the goods supplied on regular basis. So having said that, we should not say that way. We either reduce the cost of the goods produced or increase the capability without additional cost. So this is also one of the factor which is going to increase the customer experience. Okay, having said that, to make this happen, we have to see three different areas. Number one, how we are going to collaborate with customers so that what we are going to do post-production, most of the informations or requirements are incorporated when NPD is happening within the customer ecosystem. Try to be part of that NPD process flow and try to give more business like situation for them to offload those kind of processes into your ecosystem. This is one area where we are in a position to work collaboration as a main perspective and then try to make it more meaningful. Number two, the whole system of manufacturing, which is under our control, also should contribute to the customer. So what we are trying to do, we are enabling some of the processes like bringing in visual-based analytics for quality-related issues. Instead of doing human-based quality check, we are trying to bring in AI-based visual analytic solutions in place. Post-production, all the N number of issues are identified and eliminated so that the supply to customer is seamless without any problem every time, right? In this process, we are trying to bring in our suppliers also into the ecosystem, because otherwise the whole process, if it is not integrated to each other, the supply gap will be there. So we are trying to bring in more knowledge-based session to our suppliers, who are in turn trying to adapt small digital initiatives to make it more meaningful. We started, everyone is doing a supplier portal kind of thing, informing a supplier. But how quickly you are doing, how effectively they are utilizing it to make the whole process right. Because of a quick ramp up and ramp down, the information of reduction or increase in quantity which they are supposed to deliver should reach them well in time, so that they get time to produce the goods. It is unlike other industry, we have a very fixed manufacturing timeline, and the another issue is also we cannot keep stock more than 8 hours or something like that. So these are all the digital interventions which has helped communicating to the supplier ecosystems, which has enabled them to take decision quickly and then do the except for collaboration with supplier, which is the future which we are thinking, the way we are trying to collaborate with our customers. That process also is in the making so that we can make it more meaningful. Over and above, we are trying to connect our customers so that the data which is planned for the ramp up and ramp down is automated using different kind of digital initiatives, so that the time to manufacturing in 4 hours time we are getting because of the digital interventions. Otherwise, it might have gone into our system led by 4 hours. So these are all the small steps. The another important factor is the exchange between the goods manufactured and reaching to the customer. The whole documentation process which we had earlier, we have simplified the process by adapting digitization. So that system to system data transfer happens, so that the subsequent payment process is also happening much quicker over and above AISM processes, which is already part of the SCM process. So these are all the different initiatives which is very unique for B2B or B2C kind of environment, which is coming up really well. And the another factor which is only related to us is the machine availability and the data which is helping us to make the machine available 100% of the time without shutting down the machine. So the proper planning for machine maintenance happens because of the AI interventions and the data collection which we do through IoT, or you can say certain devices which we have put, and different AI algorithms we are using, and then try to predict what is going to happen for this machines. So we have to change the part well in advance so that we are reducing the machine downtime also.
Absolutely, sir. Very, very valid inputs. You've covered the entire value chain on the B2B side. I understand there are a lot of different types of customers as well when it comes to your industry. So yes, looking right from manufacturing to knowledge sharing with them, timely share of information, co-creation and collaboration, I think was a very important one that you highlighted, and automation along with the predictive maintenance, so you can keep the entire manufacturing going on time. Very valuable insights. I think we are on time, or a little over for our session. So I think we'll close it here with a quick summary of these capabilities that we learned both on the retail side, on customer experiences, and also on the manufacturing and B2B side of the industry as well. Thanks a lot, Mr. Ranganathan. Thanks a lot, Mr. Jayant. Very interesting conversations and an insightful fireside chat with you. Thank you. And I'll hand it back to Nikita for follow-on. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much, gentlemen. What a session that was. Thank you so very much yet again for your precious time.
Thank you. Pleasure.